Well, as a YouTuber, I make predictions sometimes, and this is one of those times where I was right. I told y'all so. In Ahsoka Episode 5, which was absolutely bonkers, we get Darth Vader, to some extent, in the form that I had described in the video I made last week. Now let me explain. So now where we start off, actually, when we cut to the world between worlds again with Anakin and Ahsoka, Anakin draws his blue lightsaber saying he's got lessons still to teach Ahsoka. And they joust for a bit, and then Anakin breaks the bridge she's standing on, which drops her into a flashback, a Clone Wars flashback. Are you kidding me? We get a young Ahsoka, and she's kind of living through one of her first battles in the Clone Wars with Anakin, teaching her how to be a soldier. We see a lot of clone troopers, and we cut back and forth, and then we cut from there. They have some conversations, and we cut to the siege of Mandalore, a slightly older Ahsoka, still in the younger form. But what's different about this time is Anakin's not supposed to be there, and he is there because this is the world between worlds where everything happens all at once. Side note, getting a Captain Rex cameo was so cool. And I knew from the get-go since last episode that something was off about this Anakin. And that last week I predicted that she would have some kind of trial to make, and this is where the trial starts. Ahsoka's sharing this disagreement of, wanting to be a soldier, and why would I want to train an apprentice if that's all it is? And this is where the disagreement between this version of Anakin, which ignites his blade now for the second time, and it is a red saber, a full Nightfall dark side Anakin, like the Revenge of the Sith video game, and a battle ensues between her. She gets knocked back into the world between worlds. We get a brief glimpse of Vader in suit, which was so cool. I had to freeze it to get the frame. Very quick to do so. And a fight ensues between her and Anakin. Well, Vader at this point. Ahsoka bests Vader, gets his lightsaber, but rather than striking him down, drops his saber and says she chooses to live. And then she starts hearing stuff. She looks behind. Vader's Sith eyes disappear, and now it's just Anakin, and he leaves her by saying, "There's hope for you left." And then she looks forward, and Anakin is gone, and boom. From there, we wake up, and we get Ahsoka the White. Now, this is what I had talked about. This possible manifestation. Now, Ahsoka was unconscious this whole time, or at least this is what it appears to be. And it was this manifestation that I had talked about, that through Ahsoka's fear and past self, she would have to realize and fight against this Vader. And this trial that she goes through, the test was to see if she would make the same mistake her master did. Now, I don't know if this was actually Anakin or not. I guess it's kind of up in the air, or if this was just in her brain. But I'd like to think that Anakin kind of came full circle to teach her to not make the same mistake and follow the dark like he did. Now, I know there's already going to be a comment in here like, Ahsoka would never be able to beat Nightfall Anakin, and you're missing the point. The whole point of this is a trial. Whether this was in Ahsoka's mind, in the world between worlds, or this was actually Anakin, this was all a trial for her to overcome and become a better person, become Ahsoka the White. To not fall to the darkness that potentially would be calling her in a fight like that. And it's just this same kind of trial that Luke Skywalker has to go through on Dagobah in the cave. And I just love this kind of dynamic between that. Now, I'm curious if she was kind of in the water this whole time, or if she actually was pulled into the world between worlds, or this just took place inside of her head. And I'm also curious if we're going to be seeing Anakin in the future, now that Ahsoka's completed the trial and learned one last lesson from her master. And will Anakin be as a Force ghost, or does Ahsoka no longer need him, per se? I hope we get to see more Anakin, but either way, I really loved what they did here. It was super fun. Make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed this, and let me know in the comments what you thought, anything I missed, and yeah, wow. This is the fun. It just is.